We are full of concepts and we think we're living, but we're really conceptualizing.
Sea change when you go from being in your mind to being in your heart.
And the Course of Love was about discovering our true identity.
Welcome everyone to our show today, Heart to Heart, how our Course of Love is changing our life. So I'm going to introduce our guest for today, who's joining us from the Portland, Oregon area, Parris Chargois. Thank you so much, Parris. Good job, huh? Thank you so much for being here and taking time out today to join us. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Kidd. Thanks for the invitation.
You're very welcome. So yeah, just to get started, I was wondering if you could share with our viewers out there a little bit about your personal journey before you got to A Course of Love.
Well, I guess, you don't want to go back to the fact that I was Baptist, brought up a conservative Baptist, no less. But fast forward through all of the journeys of spiritual material and so forth that had a hand in awakening me, but Ernest Holmes and a lot of other. But I discovered the Course in Miracles, and it was really crazy during a really crazy time. Not as crazy as these times in the United States, but the 2007, 2008 recession, it was kind of the leading edge of that. And my husband and I, were hit pretty hard in certain ways. We bounced eventually, but during that time, it was pretty grim. And I can remember us saying on a walk in the morning, there's got to be a better way. And then I went home. I think it was that night or the next night, and it was after a meeting that I had at the city. And I turned on public access TV, and there was this bleach blonde woman that she was talking about this book, and it was called The Course in Miracles. And she's going to be interviewing Gary Renard. And it was so late by the time I was done, but I was so lifted by this conversation that I went into my office and I ordered Course in Miracles through Amazon. And I forgot about it. And it was a couple of days later, and you know how fast Amazon is. And I get this package, and I'm thinking, what's this? And I open it up, and it's A Course in Miracles. And I tell you honestly, this book, it just totally cracked me open and changed my world. So it was just me and the Course in Miracles for as long as it took to read the book. Shortly after, that was in 2009.
Okay.
And it was 2 years ago when I discovered ACOL, when a friend of mine, Lori LaValle, who's really involved in this whole movement, as well as How to Be a Christ, she just laid it on my fireplace hearth when she came to stay with me on one of her trips to the area. And she said, just take a look at it and see what you think, because she sells books. I started reading it. I bought the book, and the rest is history. I mean, in the last 2 years, now I'm a facilitator for a group here in West Lynn and the Portland area. It's just been miraculous. And it's taken for me the ACIM, which I look at as the mind training and essential for my path. But I think ACOL stands alone for someone who isn't even familiar with ACIM. But for me, I needed the mind training. I needed that daily lesson. And it just has flowered, such a deepness in my practice.
Thank you for sharing that. I feel the same. Like at the time that I started A Course in Miracles, I was introduced through, Marianne Williamson's book, Return to Love. But yeah, it was the same thing at that time. That's what I needed, and it was perfect for that time. 3 years ago, I came into A Course of Love. But yeah, I feel like it's like, I think even Mari said that, it's like a perfect, almost like a perfect, I would say synergy, whereas the Course in Miracles is the mind training, like you said, and then the Course of Love takes us into the heart. And so those two together have become a beautiful synergy for me. But I do agree with you. You don't have to have any kind of knowledge or study with A Course in Miracles. A Course of Love is standalone. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I just feel like for the new generation coming, that they've yet to have a groundswell, like people who are older, like myself, who have, studied Course in Miracles for longer and had a longer path. But I think once they discover it, that there is such a depth there for them. It doesn't seem like it's the time for them yet. But once it gets started, it really is going to facilitate that awakening in so many people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, because it's like an energy transmission. I believe it was Laurel Elstrom in one of the other Heart to Heart videos that shared that. She said it's not a book to be studied. It's an energy transmission.
Right. It's like the left brain approach. Yeah, it satisfies the left brain, but while it's keeping the left side of the brain active and separate, this work is being done at a subtle level energetically. That's the true communication.
Oh yeah.
And that's the bypass from the mind, the thinking mind, the analytical mind.
Yeah, the analytical thinking mind. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we got the same vibe on that.
In our group here in Westland, outside of Portland, we do both the Course in Miracles. We also do Course of Love. And we're starting to, and in the beginning when I wanted to introduce it, I thought I'd get some pushback from our group, and it was embraced so energetically. And
beautiful.
Yeah, there were a couple of people that felt like it was piggybacking intentionally in some way. And when you realize that the level of channel going on through Jesus, it's called Jesus, and it's a figure in Christianity that we can embrace here in this country, but it's also energetically still. I don't understand it, but I feel it, and that's good enough. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you don't understand it, but you feel it. That's perfect. So maybe we could just, if you wanted to, share a little bit about what the Course of Love, like how it's touching you and how you're integrating it maybe into your daily experience, that you have maybe like a powerful line or passage you wanted to share, or just something you wanted to discuss.
Well, it's interesting. This morning, it's sort of like your new friend is your new best friend. and it's like through the whole book, I'm excited about the whole book. But anyway, this,
you didn't
tell me you were going to ask me this, but and I have my ugly
book.
glasses, my computer glasses here, but my husband and I are on day 22, and it's on channeling.
Oh, great.
Awareness of union with God, it exists in everything. It is there in every tree and every flower, in every mountain stream and every blowing wind. It is there in each and every human being. It is now time to quit acting as if it is not. I love that.
Oh, wow.
So just stop acting that way like it's not. I just love that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It really is.
And that's how I would talk.
Everywhere. So quit acting like it's not.
Yeah, it's just radiant and beautiful. It's here to enjoy in relationship. And that's the key, is union and relationship of being. And if we can be in the moment, then that's where we get breathed.
Yeah, I love that too. And it's that whole thing that the relationship is the giving and the receiving. So, it's like we're actually responding to the whole creative energy of love, of God, of spirit. And it's everywhere. It's in everything. So quit pretending that it's not.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It's that relationship that you really come to know, that deep essence, and feel that connection to unity and love, and the Christ self, and whatever you want to name it. That's an interesting chapter too, chapter 22, channeling, how it says that we're all channeling, that
All
we're
the time.
Yeah, we're all
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Mari and just the
Mhm.
huge task that she accepted so willingly.
Oh.
And to be a receiver and a giver in such a literal way for all of us. What a fantastic role that she has played.
Mhm.
But we
Yeah.
are all, that information is available to all of us. She
Mhm.
just happened to sit with it and share it. She received it, but she shared it through this work, and I'm so grateful to her.
Me too. And that's the part of the whole relationship, is like the sharing it, it became a relationship with everyone. And it says that in, Course of Love, that Mari was the first receiver, but we're also receivers. So she was the first, but then when we're actually reading it, we're really receiving it. And so it's like we're getting it for the first time too. And it's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Parris, for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I think we're probably running up on our time. These are kind of short interviews. So did you want to share maybe a couple last minute words of wisdom for somebody brand new, yourself being a facilitator of A Course of Love, and any words of wisdom, like for someone just starting or just coming into A Course of Love? Do you have any suggestions?
I'm just getting that right now times appear to be difficult, and during difficult times, new beginnings can take place.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you're looking for something that opens your heart to the awareness that this is new and fresh and a way to begin again, then it's worth dipping into to see if it's right for you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That's a wonderful suggestion. Yes. So thank you so much, Parris. I'm so honored that you were able to join us today. It's really a pleasure. Okay. Blessings, and keep shining your light to the world. Thank you, Parris.
Blessings to you. Thank you, Lynn.